can't feel sexually attracted to a man that I'm constantly mothering. It's like he's my little boy. The thing I love about men are loyal. Men, and this is interesting because women say, oh, no, they're not, they cheat. I said, but 9 times out of 10, the man is not leaving his family. He's not leaving his family. He's like, no, this is my family. This is my wife. And I may do this over here, but
I still come back home.
Right. Whereas women leave, and we keep it above. Women leave. Women leave. They will leave you. Okay?
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And now, some of them will leave their children.
Welcome back to the Growth Unscripted podcast. It's your host, Devontae, and I'm here with a very special guest today. Very special. Somebody that's actually close to my heart. Anita, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad for you to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. For those who don't know, just to give you just a little bit of insight, we're going to go a little more deeper into it in the episode, but for those who don't know, she actually was my therapist, funny enough, a couple years ago. And so, like, this conversation that we're about to have now is actually something that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Yes.
Big time. So, all right, let's get straight into it. For those who don't know you, though, can you actually explain who you are and what you do?
So my name is Anita Stoudmire. I am a licensed professional therapist. I run a private practice here in Richmond, Virginia. But I also have an online platform. It's called Better Love Movement. And this year makes 6 years that platform has been in existence.
Wow.
I also had a podcast, Better Love Movement. I did that for about 4 years. And I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, but I make content, relationship and dating content to help people navigate this very difficult dating marketplace that we all find ourselves to be in. I am an advocate of all forms of love. I'm an advocate for healthy love. That is really important. That's what's missing today.
I agree. Man, okay. So let's dive into this. So, let's start off with this first. What got you into even want to start being a therapist, anything anyway? What was like your personal experience to kind of like help traject you to doing that?
So being a therapist is actually my second career. I started off as a school teacher. So I have an undergraduate degree in elementary school education. I started off as a school teacher because I love children. And I met my husband when he was in medical school and I was teaching. And then I became a stay-at-home wife and mother. I did that for 12 years. And once my children were in middle school, that's when they told me that I needed to go back to work, that I needed to have something else to do other than the PTA president. And I actually went back to teaching for a year. I got a special education certification because my daughter has autism. So I went back to teaching for about a year. I realized that teaching was not as much fun as I remembered it. It was a lot of red tape, a lot of the No Child Left Behind, teaching for the test. That really didn't speak to my values. So I decided to become a therapist. And everybody knows this story. So my grandmother prophesied over me when I was young. And she told me the 3 things that I would be in this life. She told me I would be a mother. She told me I would be a teacher. She also told me I would be a counselor. So I didn't think about that until I thought about switching careers. I was like, you know what? What else did she tell me? She told me I would be a counselor. And so that's the road that I went down. And those were the gifts that she saw in me when I was 9 years old. And that's what I do. I do counseling. So I went back to school. I got a master's in professional counseling. I became a licensed professional counselor. And I have a private practice here. And I love my work. I've loved all the work I've done, So my grandmother knew something. She saw something, that those are the things that I was gifted to do. And that's why I love it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So your grandmother pretty much prophesied that you was going to be a counselor pretty much and a teacher and everything else.
Yeah.
You think she could prophesize too, letting know what the lottery number was?
Yeah, I wish. But yeah, she was a beautiful woman. She gave me my feminine gifts. She taught me my feminine gifts, myself, my mother, all of her daughters. And it's a gift that a lot of women today never got. They never had a grandmother like mine. They never had a mother like mine. But I'm blessed in that she taught me how to be a good wife and a good mother. And here's what I hope as someone who's older, I hope I'm that person for other people, right? I want to be that woman, that older woman in a younger woman's life that teaches them how to be a good wife and how to be a good mother.
I love that. I love that. So let's actually, I want to ask you this then. So would you say then, like, because of how your childhood, how you were raised, that pretty much helped kind of set you up from not just, of course, like from a relationship standpoint, but also from a just as your character, as you had you go through life.
Right. That had a lot to do with it. So being raised by a community, this is something that we are getting away from, right? I was raised by my mother's 9 siblings. I was raised by my grandparents. I was raised by everyone else on the block, right? I was raised by my father's 16 siblings, right? So when you're raised by a community of people, not just mom and dad or just mom, you're raised by a community of people. You are held to a different standard. And people today don't know what that is because they're raised just by mom, or maybe their mom and dad, or they're raised just by their grandparents. They don't have, a bunch of aunts and uncles and cousins. It's different. It's just a different game. So I feel kind of sad for people today because, they don't know what that is. Whenever I express my childhood and being put out in the streets all summer day long and not coming back till the street lights came on, learning how to navigate the world, a lot of people don't know what that is. But that's how I grew up. That was my childhood. Just navigating the world, navigating relationships.
But it's kind of hard though for at least nowadays now, it's hard for people to even learn how to navigate, let alone navigate what's outside the realm of their home.
Right.
Because a lot of people, like you said, right, some of them unfortunately didn't have like the type of community that you had growing up.
Right.
Some are lucky, some wasn't. But the thing is that there's people, I can't speak for this from personal experience, that when you was raised, because my grandmother raised me mostly.
Right.
And then my mom, she came in and out. My dad, I was with him for a little while. Yeah. And then my grandma got custody of us, me and my sister and stuff at the time. So there wasn't really no proper structure. And then also it's being mindful, what people were succumb to growing up, seeing their parents fighting, seeing lying, animosity, and just negativity in general.
Yep.
And so those things actually can cause a person to be altered in some way. Not saying it's guaranteed it happens, because even for me, I was just a goofball growing up. Yeah. Even with everything I was succumb to and everything, I was mostly a goofball. I never really tried to show my feelings in a sense, Yeah. And so these things, because these situations cause us to not be able to operate accordingly when it comes to you get old enough and start becoming how to function as an adult. Yeah. How to know more about yourself, how to talk to women, talk to men. It's because there's either not enough fathers in the home, or there's not enough mothers in the home, or I put it this way, even better, there's not enough healed parenting in the world.
Yeah.
And due to the healed parenting, due to not enough healed parenting, parents put trauma dump on their kids.
Right.
And then the kids get the backlash for it, which causes them to not be able to operate the way they need to.
Yeah. And the buck has to stop with us. So one of the things that I've been working with a lot of people on lately is reparenting, and how important it is that all of us reparent ourselves. So we see it, right? We notice the things that we liked growing up and the things that we didn't, right? There was a lot of good in how I grew up, but there were some things that weren't so great. And I sat down and actually wrote those things out. These are the things I don't want to do with my kids, or these are the things I don't want to continue in my legacy. And that's where reparenting comes in. You get to now decide how you want to be, how you want to live, how you want to do your kids, right? That's something that we don't see enough of, is people being intentional about that. Right. I grew up, in a house full of yellers, right? They're yellers, and not even in a bad way. They just yell, hey,
naturally
dinner's ready. Hey, get in the house. Right. Just come in the house. Get dinner's ready. My kids didn't care for that. So I was like, okay, I got to tone this down, because they didn't care for that. They were like, what's all the yelling? It's so loud, and I had to work on that. And now I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can walk upstairs and tell you dinner's ready. I can text you and tell you, hey, are you headed home, or are you outside, or whatever. I have been more intentional about how I parent, about allowing them. My son and I just said this on a live. My son and I got into a disagreement last night at a family debate. And I allow for those experiences. I allow them to have a difference of opinion. I keep telling people a difference of opinion is not disrespect. It's just a difference of opinion. Yeah. So the fact that I allow that, whereas my parents wouldn't have allowed that. They wouldn't have allowed for me as a young adult or a teenager to disagree so vehemently. But I allowed that. I listened. I was like, okay, tell me why you think that. Tell me why you say that. Right? That's something that I allow in with my kids that my parents didn't. You know, they're like, nope, what we say goes, that's it. I let my kids talk. I let them believe what they believe. You know, I'm pretty libertarian in that way, right? That I am incredibly tolerant. I want to be the role model for tolerance, that letting people do them, let me do me, right? So you have to give me that same thing, but I'm going to let you do you, and we can disagree without being disrespectful.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, it's good, though, that y'all can actually be able to delegate and have, like, those type of conversations at home.
Yep.
I think that's also another thing, too, is that not a lot of families do try to have, like, productive type conversations.
Yeah, I'm big on the family meeting. So we've been having family meetings for 25 years, and they usually happen over Sunday dinner, right? So Sunday dinner, my mom is there. Sometimes my dad is there. My brother is there sometimes, like whoever's around. You know, we have Sunday dinners. And we talk about what's going on out in the world, and we give our opinions and our thoughts, and it's respectful. But at times we disagree. And
it gets emotional a little bit.
Yep, and it's okay. But I'm training them for how I want to see them interact with the world. Right? You're going to go out in the world and disagree, and you don't have to, demonize a person. You don't have to physically hurt a person because you disagree. No, like I am preparing them for the world. And we're not seeing that enough. We're seeing a lot of men who didn't get the nurturing that they need from a good, healthy female figure.
Yeah.
And so now they require that from their woman. And that never was meant to be. Your woman does not nurture you. Okay? You should have gotten that from mom or grandmom or auntie. That's the person who should have nurtured you. Now, if you didn't get that, that means you now have to give it to yourself. You can't pass that down to your woman. Like, she's supposed to be your woman, not your mother. So a lot of men don't understand that. Whenever I say women nurture babies, they nurture plants, and they nurture pets. Well, what about her man? What about her man? I don't know. Okay. She can love her man. She can respect her man. She can support her man. I give my man a lot of things, but I am not his nurturer per se. Okay, because that's something his mom should have done. And if she didn't give it to him, there might be another female family member that could, but it's skewing our dynamic, our polarity if I do that. Like, I can't be your lover if I'm your mother.
You mean like the sense of confusion?
Yes.
Pretty much?
Yep.
So for those who don't know, could you elaborate a little bit more of like what would be an example of like a woman nurturing her man when she shouldn't be nurturing?
Just mothering, right? Mothering, going behind him, seeing if he did this or that, put on a coat, do this or that. No, I believe a man is a grown man. I believe that he's capable. I believe that he's competent. I don't need to go behind him. I don't need to mother him. I don't need to, believe that he's a little baby, right?
Right.
We nurture things that can't take care of themselves. So think about that. If a plant didn't get water, didn't get sunlight, it would die. If a baby didn't get fed, if it didn't get picked up, it would die. If a puppy, if I bring home a puppy and put it in a room and never saw to it again, it would die. Right? So these are things that have to be cared for because they can't care for themselves. But I believe men are strong, men are capable, they're competent, right? If I disappear, he gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. He gonna handle his business. See, that's a different mindset that a lot of people, they're like, oh, I never thought about it that way, right? I should be able to depend on him. But if he's needing constant nurturing from me, is he protecting? Is he providing, right? If I have to save him or rescue him, to me, that's not a good masculine man. A good masculine man is competent. He can be relied upon. He can be responsible for things and people. That's what I teach men how to do. Right? Now,
Right.
he can be appropriately vulnerable, and I should be safe. I should be a safe woman, right? That when he's vulnerable, when he's going through something, when he's struggling, I'm there. I'm there and I'm safe and I'm listening and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm validating. Oh, this just sucks. This is so hard. I get it. I get why you feel this way. See, I definitely can do that. I can do that for every human on the planet. But nurturing to me is like mothering. And again, I can't feel sexually attracted to a man that I'm constantly mothering. It's like he's my little boy. He's not my lover. So that's why I warn men, just be careful about that because men need sex. Let's keep it real. Men need sex.
Yeah.
And if women stop giving that because, oh, this is my little baby, this is my little boy, now you feel away. So you got to decide, right? I want this woman to remain my lover. So I have to maintain an energy that says I'm competent, I'm strong, I'm capable. See? And there are going to be times where he's going to say, babe, I tried to figure this problem out. I really did. I went to other people. I just can't figure it out. What do you think? That's fine. And I'm going to give my opinion. But again, I want to see men return to masculinity because I believe that's their God-designed nature. I want to see women return to femininity because that's our God-designed nature. And I think women will be happier. They'll be more content when they do that.
Right.
It's effortless. Like I keep telling people, my life is effortless. And they're like, how? I'm so stressed out. I'm so overwhelmed. Because you will not lean into your femininity. Lean into that femininity and life will become effortless.
You know, you said a lot right there. And I actually want to dissect a lot of that too.
Okay.
First, I want to get into this part. So, the point of like women that needs to be in their femininity, right?
Right.
But the thing is that there's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Kind of, I think, in my opinion, they get it more confused.
Yeah.
Because they also mistake masculinity for femininity.
Right.
And so, like, they cause them to, like, that's what, and then that's what, you've seen it too. Everybody's seen it. We be like, I don't need no man for this. I don't need that. I can do all this by myself. Oh, know what? Forget him. Oh, why he's crying? He's weird. He's a bum. Like, that level of thinking is not going to get you nowhere.
Nope.
And at a certain point in time, you become an adult. When you become an adult, you should start at least learning, right from wrong, up from down.
Yep.
But what I start to realize, though, more and more, is that a lot of people are not effective communicators. And then there's different levels of communication that a lot of people don't get, right? Like, you got people who are more assertive. You got people who are more, like, energetic. Like, I'm more energetic and stuff when I talk, right? Then you got people who's more, like, analytical about things. And you got other people who's more like the shy, but, like, kind of like, kind of roundabout type of person.
Yeah.
And my version of communication may not be your version of communication.
Yeah.
Because I will say, even for me and my past relationship with my ex, we ended up breaking up again last year. So this was, like, our official time. And, like, it wasn't even like it ended bad. It was more like, funny enough, we actually tried doing couples therapy. And it actually more so opened up, like, opened up a realization to where, like, for me, in my point in time, I was thinking I was going to get the girl back that I once met in the very beginning when we first met. And then for her, it was just like, it was hard for me to realize that she was never going to be back to that person again because things have changed. And then for her, during couples therapy, she ended up, like, the therapist at the time told her to write down all the bad things and all the good things when y'all was living together. Yep. And then that kind of unraveled and started opening up, like, she has this blockage to where, like, she can't be romantically with me anymore because of the trauma that she had when we were together alone.
Okay.
What was this, back in, like, in 2017, 18?
Yeah.
And that when I was thinking about that, and when she was reading stuff back to me, I mean, I do admit it definitely was a point in my time I wasn't proud of because I was on the game a lot. When she wanted affection and stuff, I kind of, like, disregarded it. Yeah. And, like, as well, even when she was trying to talk, I know I did not communicate at all the way I needed to. Of course, it's a complete 180 change now compared to then, but it was just that time it just created though, like, it just created a whole thing because like she was trying her best, and like I was trying my best to be, try to be patient, try to be, respectful and everything. But it's just that it just caused a lot of issues for us to where like it just couldn't work. Plus, as well, we were staying with her parents. Yeah. So I couldn't even sleep in the same bed with her. Yeah. Her parents are more old school. Yeah. So when you add in that aspect, and then also to, let's say, men, we're more affectionate creatures. Right. So like we can't even cuddle in the bed or anything. So it's like when you add in that dynamic, it makes it extremely hard to even try to, have a healthy
adult relationship.
Right. Right. So like when you think about that, right? And also as well, even from a communication standpoint, not saying, of course, we were arguing, yelling, but no, we couldn't really talk freely, or at least I couldn't talk as freely as I wanted to be because there's so many other different factors in the household. Yeah. So, like, what would you say to the men and women who are in relationships and they're probably in a dynamic like that where, like, they're staying with either or the parents of that household? Yeah. Because some parents, her parents was helicopter parents. Oh. So like
you can't have an adult relationship, right? They need to figure out a way to be in an adult relationship, be independent, and get out of that situation and either live with each other independently and see if they're truly compatible. Did you feel like you all weren't compatible? Did you come to that realization?
So I would say this. If things were to work out now, I think it'll be a lot easier because she actually has her own place now. Okay. So like I feel like it'll be a lot easier now without the other energies being involved. Right, right. But I would definitely say back then, it wasn't, I can't even say we were really compatible because there were just so many issues. And then also as well, it was also lack of self-awareness on both ends. Wow. A lot of lack of self-awareness. Okay. So we couldn't even like figure out how to really even describe
how
like
you were feeling.
How you're feeling.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Right.
But I say it's a success, right? I believe every failed relationship is actually a success. Like we're learning and growing and then hopefully applying, see? So I bet there's a lot of things you can apply now that you learned, right? Yeah. But we see relationships ending as a failure. And I just don't agree with that. I have a lot of relationship experience. And if God blessed me with a husband tomorrow, like that guy is going to get Anita 5.8. Like he is going to he's like, wow, this is amazing. So that's how I want people to look at that even relationships that end, that they so-called fail, what did you learn and what will you do different, right? Let's level up, and what would you do differently? So I think that you got a lot of experience. You got a lot of experience from that relationship.
Oh my God, yes. Right. I definitely did. Even when there was the conversations, even though we had like aftermath wise and stuff, I will admit, like, there's still questions I asked. She said she don't really know the answer to. Okay. So I'm like, okay, maybe she still got more growing or whatever she need to do. So it's like, I'm not, of course, not going to press something. Yeah. I mean, yes. And yes, because we do have a daughter and stuff together and stuff. Yeah. So like, I mean, of course, idealistically, of course, I would love to get back with her. Yeah. But at the same time as well, that it also will make sure it's good on both parties. Right. To make sure each person is also self-aware of what has happened, but also whether they can do better and also be able to, communicate effectively. How would you do better instead of saying you don't know?
Right. And so I do a lot of therapy lately. That is a lot of couples coming to me wanting to get back, right? Wanting to spin the block. And they're like, oh my gosh, Anita, you're asking us questions we never even thought of. Like, I actually love that. I love couples reconsidering, right, people that they've been in relationship with, because I help them to navigate, like, I'm giving you all the tools to determine if you should do this, right? And something has to change. That's what we know for sure. We can't just go by vibes. We can't just go by the love we have. No, what are we going to do differently? Because what we did then led us here. So we got to be willing to ask those hard questions, right? What are we going to do differently? And you're right. It can't be well, I don't know. I don't know where we went wrong. Okay, then you shouldn't be together.
Yeah, because like when me and her had this conversation stuff, because I even told her that, because this is when we broke up last year around November, and it was like, honestly, it was just more so, like I said, because we was in the couples therapy, and then it was like more of a realization thing.
Yeah.
I do admit, when she did bring up everything for what happened back then, it did make me feel bad. Because remember when I first met you, and was doing therapy, and I told you, like, I felt like I was a bad person. And stuff. So, like, me going back on that and realizing, at least I was able to be more self-aware,
right,
of realizing my faults.
That's it. And guess what? We all do things, right? We all do these things. We say these things. That doesn't mean that's who we are. That's where we are, but it doesn't mean that's who we are. So toxic shame is a real thing. And that's what a lot of people suffer from. They think that when someone brings up a behavior, oh my God, so what are you saying? I'm a bad person? I'm a bad boyfriend? I'm a bad girlfriend? No, but this behavior doesn't work for me. That's it. Right? But because of toxic shame, we say, I'm a horrible person. Oh my gosh. No, you're not. But I don't like this. That's it. And we got to do that inner work to peel those two things apart. Something I did is not who I am. See?
Right.
And that's what I want people to stand on, that when someone brings something to you, you don't have to get defensive. You don't have to say, flip it around. Well, what about you? You do this, you do that. But that's toxic shame. We're trying to get that feeling off of us. But when we mature, we can go, oh, okay, well, what is it about that you don't like? Or what is it I said that hurt your feelings? See, that's what mature people do.
Would you say it's ego? Like,
there's
God,
more, yes.
Is this ego?
God,
like, people
yes.
not like, keeping up. Like, people, they ended up, like you try to confront them with conversation and stuff. And then y'all confront them with the problem. God noticed, too, a lot of people are not confrontational. So, like, they always try to deflect. It's like, listen, I'm not trying to argue with you.
Right. But
I'm not yelling at you. Yeah, I'm just trying to have a conversation. I think that's what I say, because people think, too, when you have a discussion or a disagreement, you think that's an argument. No, you're not arguing at all.
And guess what it's a scream out for? I want to connect. I want to go deeper, right? It's really a person who's saying, I want to connect and go deeper. I want to try to understand. I love it. Like I tell people, conflict is my second language. And so we got to do ego work. You're right. Ego work is a big part of being in a healthy relationship.
It is.
Remember, the ego doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about connection. It doesn't care that this is your person. The ego needs to win. The ego needs to have the last word. The ego needs you to be wrong and me to be right. And those are not healthy things if we want to stay connected. So I walk people through reparenting. That's usually the first thing. Then I walk people through ego work. The ego has to be tamped down, right?
Right.
And it doesn't always need to activate. Now, there will be times where you do need to activate your ego, right? There are times, but if I'm being honest, 90% of the time, my ego don't need to get involved, right? My higher self can handle it. Like sometimes I even say that out loud. I got it. It's okay. I don't need you to show up. My higher self knows what to say. But there is a 10% time where, yes, I do have to activate that ego, but not most of the time. And I train people on how to do that. Like, you don't need your ego for this, right? So like you said, the person who's saying, oh, why are you trying to start stuff? Why are you starting an argument? That's the ego.
Yeah, because even for me, I don't even try to really start anything. Yeah, I'm a goofball and everything, but if I know you enough to where, like, I know, like, what's going to probably piss you off or something, of course, I'm not going to do it at all. But, like, at the same time, though, like, I am a man. So, like, I'm also, if you do attempt in some way, try to talk over me or whatever, then that's when we'll have a problem. Because if you want me to give you respect, I desire the same respect. And it's not even an ego thing. It's just a respect thing. It's just something you learn. Honestly, you're supposed to learn when you was a kid.
I agree.
I
agree.
And so, like, and that's the thing too, is that because a lot of people don't tend to tap back into their children like mentality, how they were when they were younger. Well, younger, you was more so a nicer kid then than you are a nicer person now.
Right.
For the most part. And people tend to forget that stuff.
But that trauma and all these experiences, think about that. You come into the world a blank slate. You're pretty naive. You believe things are good and things are going to work out, and then they don't. And then you're like, wait a minute, bad things happen to good people. Life isn't fair. And so, I believe, so I'm trained even at 57 that I have maintained some of that inner child. I'm proud of that. And people, they think it's bad. They think I'm a Pollyanna, it's bad, and oh, you're just so positive and you're so optimistic. No, I've maintained a part of that childlike nature because I believe that that childlike nature is a little bit delusional.
Right.
And it's also creating a healthy self-concept that says, for the most part, people are good. And because I think that way, for the most part, people are good. So I use it energetically, right? I use it to help me to have a good life. That if I don't go into situations thinking the worst of people, the chances are good that I won't get that.
So this one will segue into this then. So this has always been a controversial topic for a lot of people on this. What is your thoughts on polygamy? Because I've seen, of course, pros for polygamy, and I also seen cons.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would say, at least from my personal opinion, that, would I want to be a poly relationship? Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I would enjoy it, actually, if I did, if the opportunity actually did arise. But I'm not pressed, though, if it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I would say, though, like, for some of the pros that I've seen was that, when you and two other women for a man, and y'all are all on the same accord, of course, the same mission, and there's no jealousy or anything like that, because both y'all getting the same equal amount of energy. And then sometimes, too, where one will have more energy than the other and so forth. That's part of the reason of poly is that, maybe you have some days where you're not really fully up there where you want to be. You need like a rest or chill. I have the other person that can still help cover that part.
Right.
But also as well from a financial standpoint, y'all getting out 3 types of income. But also if y'all really want to build and grow something, then y'all can actually work together to build a business and grow something even more to build an actual empire.
Right.
And also as well as more, it's also triple times the experience now when y'all go travel, just enjoy each other. So like, what is like your thoughts on poly?
It is for a very specific percentage of the population, right? I don't believe that most of the population could handle being in a polyamorous relationship. It's for a very specific percentage of people. The people that it works for and that are successful, great. Like I said, I'm libertarian to some degree. I'm also a Christian, so it wouldn't work for me. It's not something I would promote. It wouldn't work for me personally. But there are a percentage of people out there in the world that it does work for. And they have an understanding. I think it's a certain temperament, a person with a certain temperament that can do that. And they're fine with it. And you have Mormons and the people out in Utah or somewhere, they have multiple wives.
Yeah.
So not even 2, they have like 5,
Yeah, some got 5,
Yeah,
10.
and they can do that, right? I don't think it would work for the majority because historically we know that societies like that are very unstable. And so if a specific man had 5 wives, that means there's 5 other men out there that don't have wives. And we know that historically that is not good for society. Men need wives. Most men need wives. Most men need wives and families and purpose and meaning and something to get up for in the morning.
Right.
So that's the bad news, that when we're taking this alpha man and we're giving him 5 wives, that means there's 5 men out there that don't have wives. And so as that number multiplies, it's like, what are we doing with these men in society? We're seeing that now. There's more men that don't have women than have women.
Yeah, but also there's also men who end up of course, everybody's different from different perspectives, but there's also, especially in this society, there's men who end up turning themselves into women because they just feel like that, they can't really get a woman. Right. And not just saying that's the sole purpose, but for some reason, for some men out there, that is the case. Yeah. Where like, oh, well, I can't get a woman, so I'm just going to change myself into a woman.
Yeah, and they envy women. There are men, I made a video about this, that men who envy women, right? They think women are the sexier sex. We know that, right? Women are the sexier sex. You undress a woman and you undress a man, you're going to get way more eyes on the women. And even other women are going to look at her. Women are the sexier sex. So there are men out here who envy women. They think women have an easier life, right? They think women, these men are taking them on dates and buying them things. And so they envy women. And there are a lot of men and then it's a fetish. For some men, it's a fetish. There's something about dressing up as a woman,
Oh,
being in
cross-dressing?
women's, all that. So that's a thing too. But yeah, I think that's going to become problematic as we go further and further into society. That's going to be a problem. Right now, these men have been lulled to sleep. So they've been lulled to sleep with pornography. They've been lulled to sleep with weed and alcohol and video games. But God help us if some of that were to go away. Now these men are like, wait a minute. I want a wife. I want a woman. I want a family. I want these things. I don't have any purpose or meaning. Like, I want these things. But right now, it's all good because men are being anesthetized. So, it's working for us now.
Right.
But I just wonder what would happen, God forbid, if we ever did go to a war or we really needed men, to step up, what would happen? And what has been predicted now, though, I think we're going to see some unrest in women. So 2040, we're looking at 45% of women unmarried with no children. I think that's going to be a problem. That they're going to be like, wow, I got robbed.
When I think about that though, right? I think about that there is like it's not like this just happens out of nowhere. For every action, there's a reaction. For every cause, there's an effect. So when I think about that, I think of that one. It's not even just solely the main fault of just because of trauma and stuff that you grew up as, but also just because it's just a society as a whole. Because to be honest with you, especially in America, there's more people that's more lazier here than it is in any other country for the most part.
For sure.
And so like people people here, like all they do is sit on their hind parts all day. All they do is talk shit on TV. They be surrounded by drama. They talk nothing but drama. Then they get so fixated on other people's lives. And then as well, you got people who eat food, and then the food here is not even that great. So then you got people now, because people don't believe this, but food to a degree does carry energy and does carry a sense of some type of energy within it that can cause you to react a certain way. And so like when you're eating unhealthy stuff and everything, all these things are causing you to start thinking more lazy and thinking more closed-minded. So when you have this and this goes on for centuries and centuries, I mean, it's going to probably get to the point, from at least from a woman's perspective, woman's side, that there probably going to be more women be more single, and then the men, more men. At least in theory, I will hope that they were smarten up enough to the point there'll be more men who's probably is seeking. But the thing is, they probably ain't gonna be able to seek. They're probably gonna stop seeking, just be enjoyed for what they already have. And then even if they want something, because since we love sex, they probably look at it as no more like something to pass the baton by, but nothing to really fully commit to, because they know, oh, you're not really like the type of woman I really want. I can see myself with being long term.
Right.
And so like that causes a whole shift now to where I can see that women more likely end up becoming more single, or they be single with kids as well, and
and that single mother by choice is a whole movement.
Oh my God,
that's a whole movement. I'm releasing a video tomorrow about Ebony K. Williams. So she became a single mother by choice. And what is hilarious is now she's saying, oh, my daughter's turning 1, and now I'd like to date and have a partner. Huh?
You just said.
Right. And in this very same interview said she is the man that she was always looking for. So it's like, make this make sense.
You are contradicting yourself so badly right now.
But I'm going to unpack that video. It is wild. Some of the things that she said in that video. So in my mind, you had a baby by choice, by yourself. Leave men alone. Go on about your business. But no, she's dating men and she has all these options. And, I want to find somebody. I'm thinking, what?
Even if you have options, I promise you most of those options do not care about you in that way.
No, they don't. And it's like, who's going to tell her? She's delusional. Who's going to tell her that she is delusional? But she is a lot of women today. A lot of women that think they're 10s and they're not. that look down on average men and they're below average. And like, that's a lot.
But then
of
that's because they
women.
got their friends that lie to them a lot. And that's the thing
Right.
too. Men, we don't mind telling the truth to our boys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, like you fat as hell, or bro, like you broke. Like you need to get yourself right.
Right.
But then don't let your female friend tell another female friend
Yep.
that she's fat. Like, oh, you just hating, you a bitch.
No.
Or you just not you just jealous of me.
No, you're fat.
It's like, listen, if you fat, admit that you fat.
Right.
No, but I'm big boned.
No,
I'm
you're
big
fat.
boned. I'm not fat. I'm just big boned.
Yeah, you have an attitude. You feign femininity by dressing a certain way and putting on certain things, but inside you're not feminine. Yeah.
And then they get mad when men approach them a certain way.
Yep.
It's just like if I walk into a sex store, I see nothing but sexual type items. I'm going to be sexualized.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna think of you as.
That's right.
You are a walking store at that point.
Yep.
Like if you want to carry yourself appropriately, carry yourself the way that you need to be, the way and the type of man that you will want to have.
And that's what I tell them. I have a saying in the school that I have online where the single you is the married you, right? So even when I'm single, I am looking the same as when I'm married. I'm talking the same as when I'm married. There's certain language I don't use. There's certain clothing that I don't put on, even when I'm single. But what women want to believe is the single them is different than the married them. That all of a sudden they're going to become modest and they're going to speak a different way and do a different thing. No, baby, I cook now. I clean now. I take care of myself. I take care of the people in my life. I dress modestly. I make sure that I'm clean in my speech, right? The single you is the married you.
So what you got to say about the women who be like they're in the soft girl era, the villain girl era, and hot girl summer?
Life is about patterns, though. And what you've done in the past, there's a pretty strong chance that you're going to do it in the future. So that's what people don't realize, that when you practice being degenerate, that's not something you're going to lay down overnight. I tell men this too. Like, can we be honest? Men who are hoes, men who are out here sleeping around and then think that a ring is going to keep them faithful, it isn't. That's your pattern. That's what you've been doing. So the chances of you continuing to do that is pretty high. Like, I really believe in the single us is the married us. So that's why I carry myself a certain way all the time, regardless of my relationship status. There are certain things I'm not going to do, whether I'm single or married. That's what I want our people to return to. And we used to be this way. And that's how Black women got husbands, is being modest and being feminine and being, yes, I know how to make homemade biscuits. I shared that just the other day. Yeah, I know how to make biscuits from scratch. I know how to make lots of things from scratch. And that's, like you said, food carries energy. And so I believe that just like how we had to go out and hunt for food, like we had to earn that food, right? And we don't do that anymore. You're exactly right. We go through a drive-through, we get it, and we eat it. I see my cooking as something similar.
Like I'm with love.
Yes. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into my food. And so you're right. That food energizes me. That food doesn't make me fat and bloated. It's interesting. And I explain this to people because they're like, yeah, how do you stay so fit? How do you say? Because I actually do the work with my food. I go to the grocery store, I handpick meats, I handpick vegetables, then I go home and wash them, I prepare them, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in it, and I sit down and eat it with the people I love, and that food nourishes me. See? But the drive-through make me bloated, and the drive-through make me sick. Yes.
And then you wonder why you got the eye. It's like, yo, this not even Thanksgiving yet. I'm already falling asleep.
Exactly. So that's the difference. But you're right. You hit the nail on the head. People are lazy. So they're lazy with food. They're lazy with love. Can we be honest? That's why I really don't like dating apps. Dating apps is the least amount of energy put toward finding a mate. But when you go out and you look good and you put forth effort and you actually get in your car and you go somewhere and you meet somebody and then you have to talk to them and you have to call them on the phone and you have to set up a date, like you earn that. Earn that. And then it teaches people like this is what's necessary to maintain the relationship. See? So when you put in work to get it, you'll put in work to keep it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
But if you just swipe and it's 10 o'clock at night and you chilling in the bed and, oh, okay. And then you match and then, y'all barely talk on the phone. You might meet up. And God forbid, if you get intimate, see, easy come, easy go.
I will say this, guys. I ain't gonna sit here in front. Because I've been on dating apps and I've swiped. Honestly, some days I just be bored.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at who I'm swiping. I just swipe and then wherever I match on, I say, "Is there good?" Nah, I'm just going to block them and continue going. Yeah. I do be bored. Yeah. But also too, there are times where I put forth intentional effort, and like when I did, the one thing I hated more than anything, especially with dating apps, a lot of these women not even really speaking anything in their bio. No. The only thing they have is add me on Instagram.
Yep.
Or I don't play about my money, or just there's something low level.
Yep.
And it pisses me off because I'm like, if you're not really on here to really find somebody.
No.
Because all you simply doing is making some basic ass bio.
Yep.
Then when you make a basic ass bio, you expect to get a high achieving man or at least a good enough decent man that's going to actually respond to you, talk to you. Then when you do have somebody who does talk to you, you can't even carry a conversation to make it at least intelligent enough to really stimulate somebody's mind.
Right.
So like, it irks my nerves because even for the ones who do match with you, when you do respond, they don't respond at all. It's like, then ones be like, I'm a bad texter. Why are you even on the platform in the first place?
See,
it doesn't make sense.
I really steer people away from dating apps. Dating apps has gamified relationships. It's gamified people. It's promoted people as a product or a service and not a person, right? As opposed to, I like to introduce people, right? Everybody knows me as the matchmaker, right? I'm going to meet men and meet women and put those people together. I'm going to try to help vet them, right? I want them to see that this person knows someone that you know. And I'm trying to make a love match. I'm always trying to make a love match, but at least there are other people involved.
You got services for that?
Yeah, I wish I did, but I'm thinking about in January, like really starting to lean into matchmaking again, because I do think that's how it should be. Let me meet them, let me talk to them and vet them and ask questions. I'm a great question asker. Most people are not. They don't ask the right questions. They don't listen to the answers. But let me meet them. Let me ask questions. Let me see if I think that would, vibe with you and make that warm introduction. And then whatever happens from there is up to you all, right? I love that process. That's how I think it should be. But the dating apps, to me, I'm going to be honest, 90% of people on them are not viable. They're not viable. They're not a good person for you.
I would say this. So I've said, and this is even after we had our session and everything, I've said that I was in Atlanta. And when I was in Atlanta, I said to myself, I'm not going to really find my woman unless I go to Africa or at least go somewhere overseas. Yeah. And like so my friend Dwayne, shout out to Dwayne, we did a Nigerian wedding last month sometime. And like that was my first experience, of course, actually going to a Nigerian wedding.
Wow.
Oh my God. I never seen so much. They throw money more than a strip club combined. Like I seen so much money on the ground, and it's all for the husband and wife.
Yeah.
And like even like when I got talked to like the mother of the wife and stuff like that, she was like, are you with somebody right now? Are you single? I have plenty of women for you. When you come to Nigeria, let me know and I'll make sure to get you set up.
See?
I was like,
I love it.
I never had this experience.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I was like,
families involved, people are involved, and they should be. I keep telling people, we're not meant to date alone. We're not meant to marry alone. We need people involved. And the fact that by the time you get people involved, you're head over heels, but they see something that you don't see. And now you feel like you can't back out of it. But do you know, the last 2 or 3 men I dated, they met my friends in the first month. And they were like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know you. I need these other people to check you out. I don't know you. Like, I'm going to get to know you and they going to get to know you. And they might see something that I don't. And guess what? One of them did. One of them saw something in the man that I brung to my home for game night. I had like 50 people in there. He was like, yeah, your boy ain't right. I was like, what? I was like, tell me why. He said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. But he paid attention. He paid attention to things that I didn't see. And he wound up being right. So there is power in vetting. There's power in getting other people to vet. So that's what I love about other cultures. Yeah,
Yeah,
families involved.
Yeah, I would definitely say other cultures, they definitely are
Yep.
more involved.
Yep.
And they're not even like breathing down your neck. It's just like, hey,
they
we feel like
watching.
this is a best match for you.
Right.
And it's like, because like in the very beginning, me ever hearing about it, like, I feel like the helicopter. I feel like they're overbearing. But then now that I actually got a chance to see it and see the process a bit, I was like, you know what? And especially how things is now, that's honestly not a bad idea.
You need it.
Yeah, and then also they're not coming. Most of them is not really coming from. Not saying they are, but I feel like most of them is not coming from a place of like unhealedness when they are trying to vet for you and help you out and stuff.
And that's how I felt about my friend. He's a great guy. He's in a great relationship. I was like, he don't have no reason to hate. Like, he saw something and he was like, hey, don't do this. I was like, okay, we'll talk tomorrow. Yeah, he was coming from a healed place. And thankfully, I'm healed, right? I could receive it. I didn't, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I was like, tell me what's up. What time is it? And he told me, I was like, and then I started seeing it. See, now he opened my eyes. And he was onto something. I was like, yeah, this person's intention is not good.
We know most of men, or mostly, I'll say women, because based on my experience. So most women's not going to let you around their friends so they feel comfortable with you. So like, if they were to switch that around to where like you are around other friends, so that way, you still get to know them, but also now your friends can give their intake of who you are too, to get another perspective.
That's it.
I think that will help eliminate a lot of probably bad men that they don't have to deal with and get with good men.
That's right. That's right. And again, like you said, your friends have to be healed and whole, and you have to be healed and whole. You have to be open. You have to trust these people, and they have to trust you, right? So I trust my friends. I trust my mom. I trust my family. And so, first month, 30 days, you coming around somebody. And they were like, and then I always consider it a red flag if they don't want to do it, right? Oh, well, that's kind of soon, ain't it? That's kind of soon, ain't it? Why would you say that? And my kids are grown. I bring this person around my kids. My kids are adults. They're not little kids. And my kids will see something like, this guy, see? But again, these are people I love and I trust. And so if you don't want to do that, that's kind of weird to me. So it's just my advice, get people involved sooner, not later. Yeah, because I wasn't in love. So by the time all that information came down, I was like, yeah, y'all right. I wasn't in love. I was like, nope, I got to cut this person loose. But see,
I think that's actually better because instead of emotions being involved anyway.
Exactly. But that's what tends to happen. We're all in love. We've been sexually involved. And then we bring them around and they're like, what's up with Shorty? Like, what? Why is Shorty doing this? What do you mean? You just hating, like you said, because we're all in love. So, and then we do see it eventually. And it's like, man, they did tell me this. So do it sooner rather than later and get people involved, especially when you want something real. True. If you're just having fun, just have fun.
And admit that too, like be upfront.
Yeah.
That way both parties understand it.
There you go.
And then that way nobody can feel the type of way. And then if feelings does come involved, y'all have that conversation.
There you go. Yeah. But if you're looking for something real, and can I be honest, I've been looking for something real since I was 18. Like, I'm not a fun girl. I'm going to keep it a buck. I've been looking for my husband since I was 18. Every man I date is a potential husband. So if it don't work out, I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for, because I want something real. I'm not for play. But for other people, like I said, if it's just play and, no, I'm not looking for anything serious. I don't want to settle down. Okay, do you. But if you're looking for something real, get people involved. So I love the Nigerian culture. I love the West African culture, Somalia. Like, I have lots of clients now from all over the world. I love the way they do it. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get on this. They're like, yeah. Because
they need to bring it over here.
Yeah.
Honestly, they need to.
And get better people together and people who know their roles. That's another thing. See, they have roles there.
True.
Right. They know their role. The woman knows her role. The man knows his role. So I love it.
So, question: this is growth unscripted. We keep it all real to the conversation anyway. So, my mom, she is dating a dude that is literally 28, 29 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I turn
What?
28 next week.
How
So,
did this happen?
Clear from what I was told, I was told, like, she said she used to date him, like, about like six and a half or whatever months ago, whatever.
Okay.
And now they've been talking again for the last month.
How did
basically.
they meet?
I'll be honest with you. I tend to not really get in my mom's business.
Okay, because I would be curious.
Yeah, because pretty much the household still has like a negative energy and everything.
Okay.
I was able to get my own room back when I moved back in with
okay.
her earlier this year. So like I kind of keep my door closed 99% of the time. But she she wants me to meet him and stuff.
Okay. And I mean, I think you should meet him. But, I mean, we know historically this isn't going anywhere, right? That they're having fun, and it's probably not going to go anywhere. And it probably benefits him more than it benefits her. So if she's okay with that, right? But I'm seeing this a lot more. I'm seeing the age gap relationship a lot more of older woman, younger man. That's like a whole thing now.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to become more of a norm.
Oh yeah, but here's the truth, and this is a truth that a lot of women don't like. Historically, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It goes against nature. So that guy 10 years from now he may want a wife and he may want a family, and he can't have it with you. So it's not going anywhere, but she's having fun. He's getting something out of it.
And see, and that's the thing, because like that's why I still meet him or whatever, but like it's just that if I already know this is not going to go anywhere, and it's not even the point of me even knowing his mental, it's just the whole point that I know hers.
Yeah.
And even though we've had a whole bunch of discussions, she even asked me like, what can she do better on and all that, and then I tell her. But also too, I'm not a broken record. I don't keep repeating myself either. So like, because I know how she is, and I know that. And I know that she still has a lot of unhealed stuff that she got to work on. Right. But I know she's not going to, even though I gave her, outlets to what she could possibly do. Yeah. I just know it's not going to work out in the long run.
It isn't.
It's just not. So
so we, I will be honest about that. But and how it happens is how it happens.
Yeah, because
that's it.
Because I'll be honest, even for me, I have talked to women who were like 35. Yeah. I think the oldest I've talked to was 40. It's the oldest I've talked to there was 40 years old. And I would say that part of the reason why I did that, though, is because, one, the women that I have talked to around my age, they wasn't operating in the same type of level of thinking and seeing things the way, I would like things to be seen. Yep. And so, like, talking to older women who were a little bit more seasoned, more natured, it made things a little bit easier. But also for pros there's cons. So like there is women who I have came across to where they're not really sexual on that level the way you want that at least you would like them to be. Yeah. So then it's like there's a give and take situation.
Yep. Exactly. Usually. Yeah, but we know it's not going to go anywhere real. And so if she's having fun, if there's a chemistry there, it's basically a chemistry, right? It's a chemistry or a connection. But we know it's not going anywhere real. And that would be kind of, if my female friend came to me and said, yeah, I'm 57 and he's 40 or he's 35, it ain't going nowhere. You have fun with that for the time that you have fun with it. But when he's ready for something real, he's going to move on, right? He's getting something out of this arrangement. But it's, like I said, biology's a thing, right? Biology is real. And your mom can't give him any kids, She, like I said, she's going to age him out at some point. I don't know if they have a sexual life together, but yeah, like biology is king. So
it is. And the thing is, and the thing is too, is like, people, I know, just because I just know her, I just know, and I have a good sense of picking up on other people's character. But even so, it's just the whole point that I know how people navigate in terms of how they, like within the first probably like minute, 2 minutes, I already have a good gauge of how you think.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So like I can tell if you're at least operating from like a higher type of level of thinking or just
lower.
lower level type of level of thinking.
Yep.
And hey, lower level person, by all means, hey, enjoy yourself.
That's right.
By all means. But at the same
right.
time though, like if you are really serious and you really want to like get to know somebody and actually build with them in a healthier way, then y'all gonna have to switch up the conversations and have those type of high level conversations. That's something that a lot of people don't do nowadays is have those asking the right questions.
Right. They suck at asking questions. They're
They don't.
horrible. And even if I give them, so I give a lot of my female clients that are in my coaching program, I give them 44 questions to ask in really vetting a man. And so even when they have my questions, sometimes they still don't listen to the answers. They don't listen to understand. And I'm like, you got to
respond.
Yeah, right. You got to do both. You got to ask good questions and really listen to understand. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you answering that. Right? That's it. And really processing what the answer was. But yeah, people do not, they go by vibes. They think vibes is going to give them 50 years of marriage. It won't.
Marriage. So for me personally, I don't mind being married. I'll put that first. I don't mind being married. I just don't like the social structure of how it is American-wise.
Right.
That's the part I don't like because there's so many different things that falls into it to where, let's just say if me and her don't work out, and then if we didn't have a prenup, that gives the government or the judicial system, whatever, like reign over how to distribute, like, everything.
Yeah.
And even with the prenup, still, it's just a whole point that it's still overlooked either way by the government, regardless.
Yeah.
And so, like for me, like if me and her get serious and we want to be together and actually do marriage, we can still have a wedding. But before it was this Western modernization bullcrap, it was like, jumping the broom or there was like sometimes like the men made like necklaces or made like their own rings or whatever to kind of showcase, this is like, time that we are together.
Right.
So like, what is your thoughts on marriage from a surface level, but also from like a deeper level from both sides?
I'm going to always advocate for marriage because, again, as a Christian, that is my base belief. I believe that's God's design for man and woman. I think it's unfortunate. I think the laws definitely need to change. There should not be no-fault divorce. And here's what's interesting about modern day feminism. They want equality everywhere but in the court. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Right. They don't want equality in the court system. So I think that's funny that they want all this equality, but they still want alimony. They still want child support. They still want half of the man's assets. But if it's equal, what we bring in is what we take out. We split the children 50-50, like 50%, 1 week your week, 1 week my week. But they don't want that. So I think that's really interesting that, like I said, they don't want to be drafted for wars, right? You want all this equality. I want you to do exactly what men do. I want you to be held to the same standard as men. We change the military standard for women. I think that needs to be eradicated. If you don't meet this standard to get into the military, you don't get into the military. If you don't meet this physical standard to become a firefighter or a police officer, you don't do that job. Right?
Right.
You wanted equality. Let's make it across the board. So we do know that family law has to change. I 100% agree with that. When I got a divorce, I got a fault divorce. I had to prove in a court of law my husband's infidelity. And I did that overwhelmingly, So I have a fault divorce. Right? And because my husband did not want half custody, I took primary physical custody. And we went about setting up what that would look like. But his children were never kept from him. I never took his children away from him. I never badmouthed him to his children. He has access to his children to this very day. Because what is the point of that? Like, who does that benefit? My goal was to make sure that the children, it was in the best interest of the children. And it's in their best interest to have a father. So we do know the law needs to change. I 100% agree with that. Men are also advocating for mandatory DNA testing. I don't have a problem with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think that the DNA should be taken before you leave the hospital, right? That the baby is
True.
born, the DNA is taken before you leave the hospital, and the man doesn't sign anything until he knows the child is his. I think that should be standard. And again, why would that offend good women? Why would that offend? It didn't offend me. If my ex-husband had said, "I want a paternity test," all right, let's show up on Wednesday at 9:00. Like, what? That don't offend me. I know what time it
Because
is.
it's a surface level thinking once again,
Right.
because they think they're like, oh, I don't trust you. No, it's not I don't trust
No.
you. It's just the whole point that
Right,
it's just
I can prove
it's just like anything else, right?
Right.
It's a procedure.
That's
it's a
it.
policy.
That's it.
And the thing is too, you know what's funny though? Women wouldn't mind acting accordingly when they're at work with their boss, whether that's male or female. But then when it comes to their man and the man questioning them or asking them questions or whatever, they feel like they want to be, disrespectful. Or they
Right.
feel like, you being rude. Why you asking me all this? You don't trust me, blah, blah, blah.
But here's the thing. Women are making it about a feeling. And I'm making it about the fact. You're the only man I open my legs to. So let's get with it. The fact is, I know these are your children. But they are relying on a feeling. They don't like how it feels. How dare you ask me? Baby, if it's a fact, let's prove it. What's the problem? But it's that level of we want some things equal, but we don't want other. That is what irritates me. That will forever irritate me. Like you all wanted equality. I can show you what that really looks like. Okay? I can really show you that. No, don't change that. We want no fault divorce. We want to just pick up and leave just because. No, you have to get a divorce under these 7 reasons. Okay? So if you can't prove these 7 reasons, come back and see me another time. You're not going to just bust up your family just because. And I even want to make it hard to get married. Can I be honest? I think you should not have a wedding, a marriage license until you've been to premarital counseling, until you have certain things in play. You shouldn't be granted a marriage license. You need to prove to me that you're of sound mind to be married, right? So I want to make it hard to get in and hard to get out. I think those are the changes that need to be made. But yes, I do think it should be equal. I think that the man, a woman should not just up and leave you for no reason and then take half your assets. No, and look, if you have no fault divorce, okay, then you ain't getting nothing. So if you just want to leave just because, you're not getting anything.
All right, so now that I brought that up, I did see this post the other day. So you know who Neo is. So Neo also has like about 4 wives
Right.
or 4 girlfriends or whatever.
Yep.
And so I saw that each wife signed something to where they cannot, like if they decide to leave, they have to pay him over $500,000 in order to leave. And also as well, if they are found cheating, they have to pay him $1 million because of infidelity.
Okay.
And the thing is that on top of that, he also added in there though, they're not allowed to have any boyfriends or anything like that, only me. But if he chooses to get with another woman and have her into the circle, then he can do that.
Okay. I mean, if that's what they're agreeing to, it's not something I would ever do.
I mean,
But
yeah, of course.
Again, to me, it's all about informed consent, right? And that's what I would say about polyamory. Polyamory, the basis of it is informed consent, meaning everyone knows what it is. So if you know what it is and you're okay with what it is, what I don't have no problem with it. But a lot of these people always say, well, you're in a polyamorous relationship and don't realize it, but there's no informed consent. That's my problem. The fact that the man says he's just with you, but he's with other women, right? To me, masculine men say what it is. Hey, so I'm going to be with you, but I ain't going to be just with you. Like, that's a man I can respect, right? I can respect a man that is giving me the option. And that's what I don't see happening. I see men not informing women. And they're claiming, yeah, this is my wife. This is the only woman in my life, but they have side chicks. I can't respect a man like that. At least I can say, hey, I can respect Neo for saying what it is. And the women are saying, okay, I'm down with that. See, it's all about informed consent, but we don't see that happen enough. So Tell people what it is. Let them decide if they want to be a part of what it is. That's all.
All right, man. Better love movement.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the better love movement exactly? And where do you see it going within the next 3 to 5 years?
I want to see men and women come back together. I want to see men and women truly try to understand each other, right? I think men have been socialized to try to understand women. I don't see that on the other side. I don't see women actually wanting to understand men and caring about men. And you're called a pick-me if that's the case, right? If I actually care about what a man thinks, I'm called a pick-me. That's insane, right? That half the population, we shouldn't care about what they think or care about what they want. That's ridiculous. And then if that dynamic is flipped, it's called misogyny. So that don't make sense. I just want it to make sense. And here's my message to women. I love your feelings. I love your emotions. That's who you are as a good feminine woman. But you have to visit the land of logic, okay? You have to visit the land of rationale. Like you can't live in the feelings and emotional state. That's why they're messed up, because they're making all their decisions from the feelings and the emotions. No, sometimes maybe you need to come over to the land of logic. It don't make sense.
Yeah, it'll help men out tremendously.
Tremendously.
You know?
It don't make sense. Okay? Just don't add up. That's it. Like just visit, right? And then you can go back to your feelings. You can go back to your emotions. But every now and again go, you know what? I'm gonna visit the land of logic on this. I'm gonna see what makes logical, rational sense. And their lives would be so much better.
I said this so many times. I said, women, if y'all can manipulate in a good, healthy way and get everything y'all want. If only y'all just let us do us, but also as well find other things that we like to do and all that. And I promise you'll get everything you want.
And that's the life I live. That's the life I live, and women hate it. They hate the fact that 95% of the time I get what I want. Well, what are you doing different? And why are men that you ain't even dating buying you stuff? You ain't even dating him and he bought you a television and you ain't even dating him. I said, because I know how to use my feminine influence. I know how to allow men to do them and be them. And, men want to be the savior. They want to be my hero. And I don't ever turn down something good from a man. I praise him. I appreciate all of his gifts and talents. And I tell him, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me with that. See? But I've done the ego work. And a lot of women haven't. Their ego will never allow them to do that to a man. Oh, tell him he's right. Tell him he's onto something. Tell him he has every right to feel that way. Oh, heck no. Oh, no, because I have to be right. I have to be the one that knows it all. No, I tell, oh, baby, that was a wonderful idea. You know what? I implemented that idea you gave me. That was a great idea. I bring my problems to men. Oh, I need someone to blow the leaves. Do you know of anyone? Do you know of anyone that could help me blow the... I sure do. I got some numbers right here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to send somebody over there tomorrow, Anita. Y'all better learn. You better learn, and you better do that ego work. Do that ego work. Now, if I could get a man to marry me and take care of me for 12 years, to pay all my bills, protect and provide for me and my children, and even once we were divorced, continue to do so, I must know something.
Yeah.
I must know something.
That's hard to believe.
Okay.
That's hard to believe in most people.
Even once we were divorced, that man still, do you need anything? Do you need any funds? Do you need this? Do you need that? Oh, the kids need a car? I'll buy it. Oh, the kids need this? I'll buy it. Oh, the kids need a college education? I'll pay for it. I must know something. So again, I've done that ego work. I use my feminine influence. I don't run around beating my chest, talking about how I'm strong and independent. Oh, I need you. I need a man. I want and need a man. I need that masculine energy. I need that logic and rationale. I need that strong masculine container. So remember, the man is the cup. The woman is the water in the cup. That's me, the water, okay? The man is the cup that holds that, okay? Because sometimes when you swish it around, that water be going crazy, but that cup stays a cup. It's always the container of what's in it. That's what I teach women. But again, they got to do the ego work to allow for that, right? I have my power, but a man has his power. Let him be in his power. Why you got to take that from him? So yeah, I always tell women, like, don't do that now. Don't say nothing. You saying something now? Don't say nothing. Let him talk. Let him say what he's going to say. Validate it. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I see why you would feel that way. I see why you think that way. But they can't do that. Well, that don't make no sense. And I'm right and you're wrong and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be honest, men don't want to take care of women like that. They don't want to, they don't.
No, if we go to work or like wherever we have like a stressful day, the last thing we need is we pull up to the house and we over here, something bad, and we pull up to the house and we're not even going in yet. We're just trying to get our own selves ready for what's possibly to come when we walk through that door.
Exactly.
And then you wonder why. Also, too, that does kind of lead to us. Also, why some men end up cheating, and then why some men end up not doing the things you want them to do.
Exactly.
It's because you're being that way. You have your ego in mind.
Yes.
Also, as well, when he does try to say, "Hey, babe, I would love it. We can do this, do that." Trying to fix things up. Yep. But instead, you say you hear him, but then your actions don't reflect the same thing you're doing.
Nope. So it's not hard, ladies. It is not hard. And I also want to teach men to respect or cherish. I'm going to use a different word. I want men to cherish a woman's feelings and emotions. I want him to understand that she is the art and he's the frame, right? Feminine is chaotic in some regards, but there's also an intuition. There's an instinct there that I want a man to cherish. There are things that women know that they just know, right? And the man is like, well, how do you know that? How do you know he's not a good businessman? Or how do you know this? Hey, it's just a feeling. I don't think you should do business with this guy. There's something off about him. And I want you to cherish that. There are many wealthy men that will tell you, my wife is the one who told me about this deal or told me not to do this deal. My wife is the one who kind of put me up on this, right? Those are smart men. They know how to cherish that feminine, something about that feminine intuition, or something about the feelings or the emotions, or something about her ability to be charismatic and schmooze people and all of that. Like, she may be better at that than a man, right? She has gifts and talents too.
Right.
That I want men to recognize and to say, okay, this is my wife's gift, go baby, yeah. Because that was me and my husband. He was very logical and rational, but I was the relationship person, right? I was the one who was a part of the wives doctors community, and we would put on these galas and events, and I knew all those people, all those wealthy doctors and all of their wives, and I knew what to say, and I knew how to get money out of them, whereas he was horrible at that. He was like, I do my job. I go to the hospital and do my job. Like, that was my husband. I do my job, I get money, and I pay bills. And he was horrible at relationships, but I was good at it. And I knew how to, get things from people and get people, smooth people and all of that. I knew how to maintain those relationships.
It's creating that yin and yang, that balance.
And we were power together. Because he was like, yeah, I don't care about that. He's like, but Anita loves that. Anita loves to host. Anita loves people. And so I'm going to let her do that. But he was power in his position. And one thing I love about men are loyal. Men, and this is interesting because women say, oh, no, they're not. They cheat. I said, but 9 times out of 10, the man is not leaving his family. He's not leaving his family. He's like, no, this is my family. This is my wife. And I may do this over here, but
I still come back home.
Right. Whereas women leave. Can we keep it a buck? Women leave. Women leave. They will leave you. Okay?
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And now some of them will leave their children, which has got me mind blown. There have been videos out there where women have left the family. So that's a no-no. That's a no-no in my day. You do not leave your children. Women are leaving their children. So
Well,
Men are loyal. Men are loyal.
some women leave their children, but even now, like even on the news, like I'm pretty sure you heard about it before. Like it was a woman. I think this happened like in Virginia or Virginia Beach or something, where like a woman like drowned her kids. She drove the
Men,
car
yeah.
into like the river or lake or whatever, and drowned herself and the kids.
Wow.
Just for the mere fact because of like the whole like mental stability part.
Right.
And then like I just said this. First of all, it's not like your kids asked to be here in the first place.
Right.
Like I can't even like anything dealing with kids. I feel even more close to because that's I have a daughter. So like it just irritates me more when I'm hearing other parents doing these things to their kids.
Right.
There was literally a woman who sent a video to the dad of her cooking the kids in the oven, and I'm just like,
sick.
how can you even? Like what goes through your head to make you even call such a heinous act in the first place?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, if you feel some type of way mentally, don't make your kids be part of this. Like if you're gonna redo something, let them go to foster care at the very least.
See?
Don't make them have to suffer for your actions.
Right.
All because you feel unhappy.
Right.
And that's also too where that whole mental and the whole overboard thing comes into play.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm really thinking about it, most women do end up, using the emotional aspect, and sometimes that causes them to cause irrational thinking doing things that's like absurd.
Yep. And then what's interesting is when they are in their right mind, that's when they're like, oh.
That's even scarier.
Right. Like, I did this, I did that. So that's why I say, ladies, we have to visit the land of logic and reason. We have to go there often, right? If I'm being real, I live in the land of logic and visit feelings. That's my nature. And so that's why I get along with men so well, is I actually do live in the land of logic. And every now and again, I'll visit feelings and emotions. But most women don't. They live in the land of feelings and emotions, and they very rarely go over to the land of logic. And that's not good. I want us to be able to bring those two together. And that's how we activate what's called wise mind. We're able to have feelings and emotions, but we're also able to have logic and reasoning. And when we put them together, now we're in our wise mind state. Okay? I teach people how to do that more. Okay, I know this is how you feel about it, but let's look at the facts, And so you're right. I make them write it down, just like how you said earlier, write down the good and the bad, and we try to bring it together, right? Because when we're in that feeling state, all we can focus on is how bad we feel. But logically, what is good about this? What is good about this person? What are some great traits that they bring to this relationship? We got to do that too. Because when this calms down, then we're going to think about this. So I make them think about it now. Like, let's not wait until our feelings go down. Let's think about it now. But people need to do that more.
So we had a conversation about this when we was doing my therapy session. Because you asked me, hey, what is your ideal type of woman?
Right.
What is it? What is it you would like? What was it you would want in a woman?
That's right.
And then I told you that, and then also as well, you told me, well, okay, you're telling me all these things, right? But at the same time, can you say 100% certain right now? Are you 100% able to financially be able to support a woman?
Right.
Are you able to as well be able to understand her, talk to her? Are you able to reconcile with her, and actually have like those conversations? Because what you're describing to me is like it's a high value type of woman. And if you trying to reach this high value type of man status, first thing you need to do is that, because you told me, I feel like you shouldn't really be dating if you don't have your finances in order. That's first thing.
That's the first thing for a man.
And also as well, like you got to be more self-aware and learn more about yourself.
Right.
So that way you can be able to, when you do get into that realm, you're able to, be able to have those conversations and be more, self-aware about it.
Yep.
So I took heed of that.
That's
so I
right.
appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
And definitely gotten way better since then.
Because that's your most confident self, right? A man who has his money and his finances and his resources, that's him at his most confident. It really is. And for women, it can be our physical beauty. It can be our health and fitness. It can be our femininity, That's why I'm confident, because I'm like, bro, don't tell me nothing. Like, you see what it is, right? But that's how men feel when they have their finances together. Like they do have options, because they're like, yeah, I'm not going to settle for this. I am a good quality man. I know how to carry myself. I know how to talk to women. I know, my finances are in order. See, that's a man at his most confident. So that's why I do tell men, if you're envious of the 20%, become that guy. Become that guy so that you can, I can take you to the Ritz-Carlton and I can take you to the park. I have a lot of different places that I would love to introduce you to. And they don't always have to be high-end places because, like you said, if you like art, if you like music or other things, we can do those things too. But I could take you to a high-end place, and that's going to be up to me. Like, you're not going to count my pockets. Right. I'll plan dates and you'll let me know if you want to come along. And that's what I tell men. Stop letting women tell you, well, you got to do this. I can't do the coffee date. No, you lead. You tell her what you're doing and you ask her if she want to come.
So what would you say to the men? So let's just say there's men out there who are, they are self-aware, like they're everything else for the most part, aside from the financial part. They're working on it, of course, but it's just that, but they're everywhere else, right? So would you say that it's okay for them to date, or at least, hey, can we at least build a friendship foundation first? Even when that should be the first thing anyway. Yeah. But like just build a friendship foundation.
Yep.
And when they do that, in the midst of that, while they're working on building their finances, at least helps them out to at least still have somebody they can still talk to and, have a companionship.
Yep. And that's where every man that I've ever fallen in love with, I liked him. I liked who he was as a person. I respected him as a person. That is my requirement, is that I like you. And I require that back from a man. I'm not interested in men that are into me sexually. I'm not interested in men that are into me to use me or whatever. You got to dig me. Like, you got to dig me. I got to be a cool chick to you. You got to be able to say, you know what, Anita is dope. Like, something about her is dope. And when I leave her energy, I feel better. I require that. Like, I can tell when a man don't like me like that. And I leave him alone. Like, nah, you ain't like me like that. Like, what do you mean? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you don't like me. You don't like me.
It's probably like the thought of you.
Right. That's a lot of dudes. But you don't like me. So I require that and I need that, right? So I'm going to ask you a bunch of interesting questions, and one of the first dates I went on with the guy that I thought I was going to marry was to Target. I was like, hey, I got to go to Target. He's like, well, I wanted to take you out to dinner. I was like, all right, we can do that too, but I got to go to Target. And we went to dinner, and then we went to Target, and we were just acting goofy and pushing a cart around and buying stuff and talking about stuff and blah, blah, blah. And we liked each other. Like, we like each other. That's what I wish everyone would do. See if you like this person. And like you said, you're still getting yourself together. You're still working on yourself, but you dig this person. And so, spend time with them, talk to them on the phone, share funny memes and all of that stuff. But don't fully step out on that limb unless, one, she is willing to build with you. When I met my ex-husband, he was in medical school. So he was broke and I was a school teacher. So in essence, I was less broke, but I was broke. And I knew what it was. And he told me what it was. He was like, hey, if you're willing to invest in me, this investment's going to pay off. He told me that. And I believed it. So we were a great fit, right? We were a great fit. He told me that the investing in him was going to pay off. It did. Okay? And I believed him. And I was willing to make that investment. So it'd have to be a situation like that. But if she says, nah, bro, you ain't got your money up, you need to get your money up. Okay, then that's probably not your person.
See, I love what you said there. Because like hearing that from you, especially in the field that you've been doing it for, like be able to hear that reassurance of like, hey, you coming now from a more place, way more healed than what you were. You're more self-aware.
Yep.
But also, what the biggest thing though is that you will be honest. Like, hey, like, listen, I like you, I dig you. I'm not there financially yet, but I'm working on it. But I promise you, though, if we were to work together, though, I promise you, you will see the end results. I promise you that. Yeah. And like I think that's like one of the most authentic and most like beautiful things with those type of relationships is having those people to where like me be able to find a woman that she's willing to still ride for me, even when I'm not there yet. financially, but she knows I'm building it. She sees like the track record and results.
Yeah.
So like for her to still be with me and still be my cheerleader throughout all that, oh my God, you already gonna be my wife.
That's
regardless.
it.
Like,
That's it.
cause like that, cause it's a hard thing to find.
Yeah. And remember, informed consent.
Yes.
See, he told me from the jump what it was, and I signed up for it. And he wasn't wrong. He's making $12 million a year now. So he wasn't wrong, you know.
Hey.
He afforded us a lifestyle and again, he did that all on his own. Like I wasn't writing his resume and applying to jobs for him. No, he was already in the process.
That would
of
be more of a
becoming.
nurturing side of that point.
Right,
That'd be nurturing.
exactly.
See?
And that's what I keep telling him. If you got to give him the vision, if you got to do this, if you got to do that, see, that's the nurturing. No, he's a man. He was like, no, I got this. I'm informing you of what it is, and are you signing up for it? And I was like, I sign up for it. So there you go. And together, and then look, he said, you know, I need a support person. And I was like, what does that look like to you? Like, we had these conversations. He was like, it looks like taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, and helping me with this and doing this and da-da. I was like, great, that's what I want to do. See? And he was like, okay, now let's do it. And we did. But people need to do that. You need to sit down and say what does that look like? So that informed consent is everything, right? We got to let people know what it is. Whatever it is, let people know what it is, right? Your financial situation, your housing situation, you know, your trauma situation. Just let people know what it is. And then they're going to tell you, okay, yeah, I can roll with you. I can be patient. You know, if you have abuse or neglect in your background, just tell people, yeah, I'm still working through this. You know, I had an assault in my background. I'm still working through that. And it's not on you to heal it. I'm going to do that. But this is what supporting me in doing that is going to look like. See? And then if the person says, okay, I can do that, there you go.
Man. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. I can keep talking all day.
Right.
I love this. I love everything that you've been doing. Yeah. Man, tell me, what is it? What's your plan for the next 3 to 5 years that you want to do? I know you have books out as well.
Yes, and I've got another book coming out. I'm shooting for October, the end of October. It's called The 21 Feminine Principles. All of the books that I write are for women because they are the people that I want to see grow and be the best that they can be. So The 21 Feminine Principles is coming out in October. And it is kind of an ode to my daughters and to all of the young women out here, just giving them those basic principles in which to live so they can thrive, so they can have good relationships with men, so they can be their best. So that's coming out in October.
Okay.
I am working on some things privately. I am working on kind of getting back into my more creative side. I'm getting into writing. I'm trying to get a pilot made called Blind Date. So I'm working on that. I was just at the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival last month. So I've been looking for producers for my pilot called Blind Date, you know.
Nice.
So that was awesome, just being there and seeing all the films and everything being made and viewing all the films. I got to meet Dave Chappelle and all of these great people.
Cool.
But I'm looking for a producer for a pilot called Blind Date. So that's something that is very near and dear to my heart, getting back into that creative side of myself. So I'm working on that and just continuing to grow my channel, grow my Instagram, you know, talk sense into people. That's it. I would like to reach younger people. My audience is primarily like 30 to 50, but I would love to reach people who are like 18 to 30. So I'm working on that. How do I reach those people? How do I catch them young? Right?
Well, I actually have an idea about that.
Okay,
actually.
good.
We'll talk about it after this,
Yeah.
but I have an idea for that.
Good.
Okay, I love that. And so where can everybody find you at, though? They everyone get in contact with you and stuff like that.
So it is Better Love Movement everywhere, right? My website is betterlovemovement.com. On there, you can set up a consult for one-on-one sessions. You can learn more about my school platform. And I am on school.com, and it's Single Seeking Soulmate. So men and women come on to school. They learn about relationship skills. We have a weekly meeting. We do mock dating there where they get to hone their dating skills. But Better Love Movement on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So Better Love Movement, that's where you can find me.
All right, y'all heard that. Make sure y'all tap in with her now. She'll get you right.
Yes.
She'll get you right. Listen, you're going to open up your eyes. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know all this was possible.
All right.
Well, Anita, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. This is like a full circle moment. It feels
I
so
know,
good.
right?
Yes, yes.
I did. Like, who would have known, like, a couple years ago, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be on his podcast.
Right.
I'm going to have a podcast.
That's right. It's
So,
amazing.
Yes, and this, like I said, this episode is actually really dear to my heart. So I really appreciate everything you even do.
Good. Thank you.
And I hope this wish you the much success on a lot of other things coming.
And I receive that.
No problem. And for those, if y'all enjoyed this episode, make sure y'all like, subscribe, make sure as well to leave a review. 'Cause remember, I do read the comments. I promise you I do. Please. I love you. But if y'all love this episode, though, make sure to like and share it. Make sure to share it to somebody who may need to hear this conversation. It'll change their life. And without further ado, y'all take care. And y'all have a good one. Peace.